have both.
Court is in session with Ryan in Sacktown on If You Don't Like That. Now, Ryan in Sacktown.
Oh, must be Rhino.
That the Steelers are that they're
What
wearing
is
that
up?
bothers me.
Happy
The brown
Friday.
pants,
You made it.
whatever they've got,
Kings Court
whatever
coming to you
pattern
from
it is
the
on the front of
Fox
their jersey,
Sports
the
Sacramento
shield, that's
Studios. Kings
I
home
understand
opener
not
tonight.
forgetting the
We
past,
have
but
a little bit of a
this just doesn't do
surprise
anything for anybody
that you
except
may
maybe
or
sell a
may
few more
not
jerseys
heard
for the
of
NFL.
or heard about.
Is anybody going to buy that thing?
Oh
this
yeah, there
morning.
will be. I just don't know
Hinted
if they'll
at
make
it a
their
little
money
bit
back on it.
yesterday.
It
Domas
is,
was on the court yesterday.
It's ugly.
IJ
And
was on the
it's-
court yesterday. Now,
it just
IJ was
does
not that
nothing
big
for
of a
the game.
surprise. Isaac Jones
There's nothing. There's
But I'm
just
like,
so
all right,
much about dress
Domas
is what's appropriate
on the
not
court.
about if you actually dress well. It's one of the things I
Interesting.
love about Green Bay, Wisconsin.
listen to
is there's
Doug
nothing
Christie
ever
talk.
That's kind of inappropriate. in
Little
terms of
hint
dressing
there.
Down, right? You go
Little
to a bar
hint here.
and you know
We'll
this
shoot
man,
around today. I was not
you're sitting next
there,
to a
but
guy,
Brendan
he's wearing
Nunes
jeans
and Sean Cunningham
boots,
were.
and
We've
you're like,
got a
"Well, you
further
could be a multimillionaire,
update. Is the big
or
man
you could have
gonna
just
be
got done
back
working on my truck in the shop. There's
today?
no real difference there.
Different audio.
So how you
coming
dress and
through.
being underdressed.
What
like, this
audio?
is
You
one
can't
where it's
hear
pretty
me?
simple.
Can you
pretty
not
simple.
hear me?
Packers, Steelers, let's
Is
not
that
screw
better?
it up. Wear something that resembles your traditional uniforms.
What audio are you
Because
hearing?
these are the ones in which those images are going to go out for years and years and years.
Somebody talk to
Remember
me.
when Aaron Rodgers? I mean, look, I remember when
Relying
the
on
Packers
you.
took on the Vikings at home, and Brett Favre came in and won the game.
Two people
the
talking
Vikings
right
were
now.
wearing their
All right,
traditional
I know what
uniforms.
it is.
Why?
How about now? Is that better? We good? Is it gone? Getting Green Bay audio? How about now? Are we better? Good. Scylla says we're good. All good. All right. Had to mess with the board. Sorry about that. It's fixed. Yes. How do we celebrate? How about with a Keon? Keon is going to be a big topic of conversation today. Doug Christie, even in his press or his post-game press availability after the game in Phoenix, he says Keon's going to play. He has to play, especially now that Neat Clifford, sorry about that at the beginning. You know, we are Fox Studios. We've got different shows running in different markets. Is this a Verizon commercial? Can you hear me now? Yes, I know. Those kind of went away. I haven't seen very many of those lately. Thank you for everybody picking me up there. Sorry we ended abruptly yesterday on the Kings Court. Had an internet issue. So anyways, let's reset in case you did not catch the open. Looks like Domantas Sabonis is going to be making his season return or his season debut tonight against Utah. I love the fact that you're going to get Domas back. Here's where I worry. I want to make sure he is 100% good to go. Because this is not a avulsion fracture. This is not something that can't be injured worse. This is a hamstring. This is game 2 of 82. And you know sometimes you got to save Domas from himself. The guy took one game off for an avulsion fracture and played the rest of the season. So I'm sure the Kings training staff, I'm sure Doug Christie, I'm sure because of the competitor that Doug was, they're taking that into account. I just hope that Domas's hamstring really is good to go. Because quite frankly, I would sacrifice the Utah game if that meant Domas came back against Oklahoma City, maybe even Sunday against the Lakers. If that meant that that's just one more day where that hamstring really could have used a little more rest. And everybody's different. I mean, look, they're not going to put him out there if they don't think it's safe. They know he's got to be on the floor for this team to have any success, but he is expected to play. We're going to hear from him here in a little bit. Again, shout out to Sean Cunningham and Brendan Nunez. I was not at Shoot-Around. I'm going to be using their video and audio, but Domas talked to them. So did DeMar DeRozan. Also, we have the NBA betting scandal going on. Bluey Rhino. Interesting. Do you ever attend games? Yeah, I've been going to every game. So in fact, when we do the post-game show tonight, which we will have Jerry Reynolds with us as well. By the way, great show out. Last post-game show, first one of the season. I will be live from the arena. Jerry and Grant, they will be in well, Jerry's going to be at home. He's going to be probably a couple of rooms away from his bed because it's past his bedtime, and we are so grateful for him to stay up to come on to talk with us and all of you about the game. But Grant will be in the studio. So, yes, I will be at the G1C. We've got you covered from all different angles, including the Reynolds household. Got to think Mrs. Reynolds was not happy when Jared's like, Mrs. Reynolds, can I stay up till 9:30 to do a hit? So we got to tread cautiously there. You never want to upset Mrs. Reynolds. But yes, we will be covering this thing from all angles tonight. And yes, I will be at the game. I will be at the game. Jerry needs to go to bed. Hey, it's up to Jerry, man. If Jerry wants to stay up, he will stay up. You never know. If it's a good game, he might even pop open a beer. He's known to do that once in a while. Oh, no worry. That was actually kind of funny. It's all good. I need to go to bed. 11 o'clock. Jazar, what's up, man? Where are you at, Jazar? What's up, J Cal? How you doing? If y'all want to call the show, you can before we get into the meat and potatoes of today. If there's something you want to talk about, Russ is gonna dish to Sabonis like it's 2016. As long as it's in Russ's like 12 minutes that are not eating into Keon's. If he can do that in less minutes, great. Happy to see it. Glad to see it. Keon Ellis, the Kings lose this game tonight. I'll promise you this. The Kings will lose this game tonight if Russell Westbrook plays more than Keon Ellis. On the record saying it. We're going to need Domas. Wish we had Neek. Yeah, Neek out for, well, he will be reevaluated in 1 week. Very unfortunate that Neek ended up with a hamstring strain. It's going through this team right now. The injury bug and literally some type of virus bug. So hopefully this is the low part of the curve when it comes to injuries for the Kings. Let's hope we are in the valley and only headed up from here. Go Chargers. Justin for MVP. Hey, at least the Chargers did not look like the Savannah Bananas last night. I mean, those jerseys they wore last week might have been the ugliest jerseys I have seen since the Kings gold jerseys. I'm serious. Like, they are in the conversation. I saw all the online stuff. It was funny. Minions, yeah, they looked like them. Like, at what point does an NFL player say, I'm not putting this on? Like, no. No chance. This isn't a celebrity flag football game. I'm not going to wear the uniform that my 7-year-old wears for his games. No, those were terrible. And I get Grant didn't like the Buffalo all white ones. I loved those. I thought those were clean. I don't think Grant understood the symbolism behind those, because when you think about those whiteout games, and I'm not talking about in the stands, I'm talking about the blizzards that we've seen in the last 4 or 5 seasons in the NFL, most of them have happened in Buffalo. So that's what it was a tribute to. Anyways, I hope Haunted Horse is not involved with the recent gambling allegations. 25 cents ain't going to get you into that room with Chauncey Billups. It's just not, Jay. Not going to happen. No way Horse is involved. But I did talk to Chad Dewing, who is a great friend of the show. He hosts the Rip City Drive in Portland, covers the Portland Trail Blazers. That's actually the home of the Blazers. And yesterday was just one for the books. And I actually went to YouTube to check out some of Chad's show. And it was interesting to hear the fan base and some of their reactions. Some were ticked off because they feel like we've been through the basement of the rebuild and now we're hitting this wall. But then there was this completely different set or subset of the fan base that was like, yeah, I want somebody else coaching this team. And I'm thinking, okay, you're always going to have one of those callers, but there was multiple of those callers. So interesting stuff there. And by the way, Dennis Youngblood, my man, you had my blood boiling at the start of the show yesterday on Fox. My blood was boiling. I'll explain why a little bit later here in the show. Thanks, MC. Hit the thumbs up. Don't forget, we are going to lead you right into the Grant Napier show. Napes will be in the big seat over there at 3 o'clock. We'll be going 3 to 6. We'll do our NFL picks at the end of the show. That's your chance to win a $100 gift card to Bennett's. Yes, a $100 gift card. All you got to do, and we'll tweet out our picks. You got to respond to the tweet with 4 of your own picks. We're going against the spread, and we're using the DraftKings lines. That's all you got to do. We've had who won? We've had is it? Oh my gosh, I can't remember his first name, but I know his last name. Cardicelli won one. Dr. J has won one. Dennis has won one. Sack Girl has won a card. $100 gets you a good meal at Bennett's. I mean, a really good meal. That's not like appetizers in a cocktail. You're getting the full Bennett's experience for $100. Trailblazers coach edition. Not surprised at all hearing about Billups. Never liked that guy. What's up, Dorian? I know he's going to be at the game tonight. Dorian, I know you hit me up. I will not get there till close to tip off. But I'll let you know what section we're at, so you can come say what's up. Can you guys ship us food from Bennett's? I know Grant has plenty of airline points. I saw something. It was, I don't know where it was. Maybe, okay. So I ended up, and I don't want to go too far off the beaten track here, but I ended up, unfortunately, this last spring, I was on my way to Stockton to cover a game, and I got in an accident. And it was an accident that, I mean, it was more than a fender bender, but my car was still drivable. And I'm thinking, okay, well, they'll be able to, replace the quarter panel or whatever, because I loved that car. I really did. Now, gas was expensive for that car, but I loved it. And and I'll tie this together in a second, because it's where I remembered this now. So anyways, I get back from insurance this report that says we're totaling your car. Like, what? You're totaling my car? Like, some of you may have seen it. So anyways, I had to get in the market for a new car. It just so happens that my dad had been watching this guy in Utah that is one of the biggest, best, most respected used EV dealers in the nation, and offers these warranties that very few dealerships qualify to offer, and very few dealerships have agreements with Tesla where they will honor the warranty, and it's a lifetime warranty on the batteries. So I ended up going to Utah to get my car, right? Okay, so that drove me down that YouTube rabbit hole. So I'm watching all of that guy's videos. Shout out to EV Auto and Alex, by the way. They were awesome to me. Thank you very much for that. But then all these other dealerships started popping up. And I'm not talking about random dealerships. I'm talking about ones that like have 1 million plus followers. I think like J&S Auto House, George Saliba or something like that. And so now I'm kind of watching these videos. And in one of those videos, no joke, one of his customers had a jet chartered to send 2 cheesesteaks and 2 cheese fries, from Philly all the way to Cali. How much do you think that cost? Any idea? Any guesses? He chartered a jet. First off, the food's going to be cold, right? It's not going to taste that good. That's a 4 or 5 hour flight. I don't care if you keep it in a warmer. It's not the same. He chartered a jet. So I know how expensive it would be to do that. It would probably be cheaper to get you here, Jasar, than to ship the food to you. And you would probably enjoy the food a lot more. It was north of $20,000. North of $20,000. So, yeah, some people just have that money. But that's how I got to seeing that. By the way, with the NBA betting scandal going on, if you want a really good breakdown of how this can happen, a really good breakdown, go to YouTube and look up Michael Franzese. He is an he was literally the guy, one of the guys in one of the families. I don't know which one it was, but he's one of the few that ended up getting out. You know what they usually say? You're gonna wind up dead or incarcerated. Well, he ended up incarcerated, and when he came out, in fact, before he came out, he had many of the major leagues recruiting him. They wanted him to come work for them, to be a consultant, to try to get to the bottom of this. And this was way before gambling was legalized in many states. I think we're up to 35 plus. And so Michael is now a motivational speaker. He's an influencer, but he has the most unique and qualified experiences to talk about how this happens, to also talk about how common this is, how long this has been going on. He talks about the changes between, the entry, right? Your ante to get into sports betting. It used to be a lot more. You had to find a bookie. You had to do something shady. You had to go to a state that allowed it. Well, now that buy-in is not nearly as much. In fact, it's free. Just pick up your phone. But Michael also explains and Grant and I talked about this yesterday because neither of us have been in the mob. At least I don't think Grant has. He grew up around the mob. I mean, grew up in the city, well, Long Island, not actually Manhattan, but I guess the mob's everywhere. But anyways, all joking aside, we were wondering, how does the mob get the hooks into you? So that's what it's called, getting a hook into you. And Michael explains it perfectly. So go check it out. He dropped about a 30-minute video that I watched last night. In fact, I will retweet it out after this show. I think you would find it very, very interesting, and it gives you a really good perspective. In a nutshell, they're always watching. If they see somebody that's making money and making money in a way that's not legal, that's when they insert themselves. So I have no idea how Chauncey Billups, Damon Jones, etc. got involved in all this. But if you watch what Michael says, I think it gives you a lot of really good context. Speaking of this, I told you Dennis made my blood boil yesterday. So Dennis was on the island of, the NBA looked past this. They didn't want this to be confirmed with Rozier. So they just, they let him off. So it would be swept under the rug. Okay, maybe. I don't know. If that's your take, if that's your theory, fine. You want to wear your tin hat? Wear your tin hat. All good. You might be right. Who knows these days? But the point that I was trying to make to him is the NBA does not have, if they are investigating, and he comes back at me and he's like, oh, well, they hire all these ex-FBI people. And yeah, you don't think that they know what they're doing? It's two different things, my man. Sure, they know what they're doing. But guess what? They hit a wall because they don't have subpoena power. They can't summon grand juries. They can't issue warrants. All they can do is work with what is provided to them and what they are able to dig up independently without the assistance of third parties. If a third party doesn't want to cooperate, there's nothing they can do to make them cooperate. So the NBA took Terry Rozier's phone. Terry Rozier was fine giving up his phone. But that's about where it stopped. And I was trying to explain the differences. It's not like I haven't worked around the law for a lot of my life. I tried to explain the differences in the processes. And instead, I don't know what the word he called me, an idiot, or he didn't call me an idiot. I think he was like, wake up. And I'm like, seriously? So Dennis, whether you hear this now, you hear it on replay, it gets back to you from a friend, here was Shams yesterday, last night, on Inside the NBA.
Their passport, Rozier will also put a $6 million home up as collateral in this, and Chauncey Billups and Rozier not able to travel either unless it's to New York for their upcoming trial. That is where it stands right now. Damon Jones also arraigned as well today. But there's going to be more from this because, again, this started as a group of about a handful of co-conspirators. Now it's well over 30 arrests in total after today's round of 31 arrests. And the NBA obviously is waiting to see where this goes. Terry Rozier has been under investigation for the last 2 years, Ernie. And the NBA did not find enough in their investigation to discipline Terry Rozier. But again, the FBI, Kash Patel, they have a lot more at their disposal than the NBA does. Their subpoena power, they're able to take more material, more warrant ability that the NBA just is not able to do. So Terry Rozier, His NBA career is on hold now. Chauncey Billups' coaching career is on hold. Tiago Splitter has been named the interim head coach in.
Yeah, there's your elbow off the top rope, Dennis. Always trying to out-host the host. Here's the thing, my man, and I love you. You know this. Facts are facts. What I gave you yesterday were facts. Now, what Shams said is really important, and we're going to move on to the Kings. This is why it's important. This all started with the Porter investigation. I mean, I kind of lean a little bit more towards a macho man, you know, with his hands above his head, all that. Oh, this guy. This guy. What is this show? Yeah. Yeah. Back to the investigation. This all started with the Porter thing. And like Shams said, a handful of people. And now it's expanded to this gambling ring. And the person that's unnamed in the suit with Damon Jones and the others matches up the credentials. It's widely presumed that is also Chauncey Billups. So what I'm saying is this thing, and the FBI made it very clear, is an ongoing investigation. At any time, they can amend the complaint. They can file new charges. Did you see Adam Silver at the Pacers and the Thunder game last night? By the way, SGA has gone to the free throw line 40 times in 2 games. 40 times in 2 games. But anyways, did you see Adam Silver? I mean, I know he always looks a little, you know, he's Adam Silver, right? Commissioner ears. E.T. phone home. We get the jokes, okay? But I mean this in all seriousness. He looked pale. He looked physically present, not mentally present. He was staring into a daze as the basketball court and the players were running up and down it. Dude's just staring into a daze. I really, I hope this does not get worse. But as Shams said, I would expect it to expand before it contracts. Which leads me to my last thought. Is it really the true sports fans that are going to be banging the drum about the integrity of the game? And I'm not watching anymore. It's rigged. Is it really going to be that true group of sports fans? Or is all that noise going to be coming from the gamblers? Saying, you're messing with my money. That ain't cool. We all know there's universal reasons to go, and money is one of them. We'll see. We will see. So the Kings open up tonight. Home opener at the Golden One Center. Let one slip through their hands in Phoenix. Good day of practice yesterday. I got to compliment my partner, Napes. I got to compliment him for this reason. He talked about part of the problem in the first half against Phoenix was that the Kings really, although I thought their defense was a little bit better, it was more about the Suns missing open shots to him. And Doug Christie came out and kind of said that yesterday at practice, so credit to him. But shoot around today, Isaac Jones no longer on the injured list, so it looks like he will be back in action. We were not expecting Domantas Sabonis to be reevaluated until, well, from the date of his injury, a week from once it was diagnosed. But Domas yesterday was getting some work in. He was on one of the exercise machines. He was on the court at times. Not 5-on-5 stuff. But guess what? He was at shoot-around this morning. And everybody seemed pretty excited. Now, I was not there. I'm going off of what I read, and huge credit to Sean Cunningham and Brendan Nunez for the video and the audio here. But here was Domas after shoot-around today.
Yeah, very excited, especially here at home with the fans. I know they're excited, so we got to go out there and play for them.
For you tonight, did you go through a warm-up routine to see how it works, or are you ready to roll?
Yeah, definitely. I'm going to go see how it feels. I feel good right now, and hopefully everything keeps going in the right direction.
I know you're a guy that loves being out there for all 82. Just, was it frustrating not being available for the first
Yes,
one?
it was very frustrating, especially for the first one. You work all summer, and, but it's okay.
When did you feel it? Was it that moment with Zubats?
It was in the third quarter, that last play right before I asked for the sub.
Gotcha. I know what it means to you to play in this home opener, how much you were looking forward to that. When this happened, did you have any doubt in your mind that maybe it wouldn't be available?
No, I said I was going to make it for game one, but at least hopefully we can get game two.
Yeah. What did you see from this group without you?
They played great. They played great. We made shots. We're moving the ball there a little bit in the first half, and then Phoenix got hot, made some adjustments, but they started switching. That's where I can be a presence to help out the team.
Year 10 for you. Like, does opening night present the fun jitters that you guys have?
No, probably I have more jitters than ever.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, why is that? Like, why do you feel like you have that?
You want to go out there and do good for the fans. Pressure increases. And you just want to do good. As the years go on, you want to focus just about winning.
Utah opens with that win against the Clippers.
Yep.
Obviously, they have a lot of size. Just kind of, what do you see in that challenge ahead with the Jazz?
It's going to be a lot of work. We got out rebounded by a lot last game. Tonight they're actually a really tall team. Physical team. So we're going to have to. It's going to be a collective group effort.
Thanks.
Utah smoked the Clippers, by the way, in their first game. Lauri Markkanen, Walker Kessler both played really well. So the question becomes, I want to make this clear, there might be reports that Domas is available. He is officially a game time decision on the injury report. Which, by the way, that's the other problem with this whole thing with gambling in the NBA. I know Grant said yesterday he's spoken to a few people in the league, very close to the league, that have said the NBA has started taking it more serious. But it's kind of a joke. It's been a joke. It's nothing like the NFL where you get fined if you are not completely accurate and transparent with the injury report. But yes, Domas is officially a game time decision. Keegan and Neek are officially ruled out. Isaac Jones off the list altogether. My gut tells me everything that you guys are reading. I agree with it. Domas will give it a go tonight. My biggest concern, which I started the show with, is, Domas, how tough he is. It's got to be serious to keep him down. We've seen that. Missed one game because of an avulsion fracture, which should have taken him out for at least 6 weeks and probably surgery. Nah, We're going to miss one game, and then we're going to play through. So you got to be ultra, and I'm sure they're all over it. I know they're all over it. But he's one of those guys that you got to save from himself. So I hope that hamstring really is as good as they feel it is. Because he wants to be on the court, and I want him on the court. What I don't want, because unlike the past injury, I do not want this thing to get worse. And that's what can happen with hamstrings. Now, the good thing is the hamstring that he strained in the preseason is not the same hamstring that he strained at the end of last season. So at least that is a positive. I'd be feeling a lot worse about it if it was the same hamstring. Great. Yeah, look, Benny, I believe Brendan. I know him. He's great at what he does. Brendan, excuse me. I believe him. I have to go off the injury report because I'm not making that report. That's his. And so is this video and audio. His and Sean Cunningham's. So credit to them. Go check out their work. Let's see. As we go through, who cares? Jasar, who gives a crap? The world's truly a stage, sports to politics. Interesting. Matt loves crap. Okay, at first I thought it said Matt loves... Oh, it does. Matt loves scraps. The incident shows how protected some boomers are from reality. Okay. This might be one of the funnier handles I've seen. And you know what it took me straight to in my mind? Extreme Cheapskates. You ever seen that show? I don't think it's on the air anymore. But there's like 2 episodes. There's this one episode, the 2 that stick out in my mind. There's this one episode where this guy calls up these friends that he doesn't, I forget how they met. I don't think they're that close. But this guy rides his bike everywhere, and he wanted to go on a bike ride and needed some place to crash. And he's like, oh, well, can I crash at your place? And I'll bring the kids presents, and I'll cook dinner for you. And they're like, yeah. Well, he stops along the way. And mind you, he is on a bike. And I know it was the Pacific Northwest, and seafood's fresher out there than it is here. He doesn't get a fish. He doesn't get crab. He doesn't get a lobster. He gets a fish head and the spine and the tail. And he makes dinner out of that for the family. He made the girl a purse from a milk carton and paper clips. And then I'm not even going to get into the New York girl. The New York girl. Oh my gosh. That was the worst episode. Yeah, Brendan is great. Love Brendan. Great. Domas will be good to go. DeMar DeRozan also spoke to Brendan and Sean today.
How much are you looking forward to tonight, getting things rolling?
Back home floor. We get back. Be great to get a win out here. Just excited to be back in front of our fans.
Is it feel like there's much that you guys had to shake off from that opening loss in Phoenix?
I mean, yeah. We came out, played well. It sucks to let that one get away, especially the first one on the road. But learning experience is a lot we could take from that game, especially late in the fourth quarter as far as executing. So, we just got to bring the energy tonight.
You were pretty vocal. I saw that, at midcourt yesterday. I mean, between you and Russ, just what was the overall message you wanted your guys to hear?
Just staying on top of it. We can't let nothing slide. Even when we make mistakes, addressing it, taking accountability, understanding, what went wrong, what we could clean up, just being on top of things right away. Trying to nip a lot of stuff in a bud, before it bleeds over or it becomes anything. We don't want to keep bad habits. We don't want to build bad habits. Everything is about trying to get better every single day.
For a home opener, do you always Do you still get excited? Like, is there like a jittery type of thing?
Yeah, it's still even more so now. Still, just 17 years for me. So, it's like every moment, you kind of embrace even more. A little jittery, nervous the first game on the road, just because when you realize how long you've been doing it, still got the opportunity to do it at a high level. You find appreciation in that.
I know you're going to be able to walk out and have the crowd here tonight. Doug just said, "Hey, it's important to protect home court." Like, is that the message you guys have?
Yeah, we gotta use this to our advantage playing here. We got some of their best fans in the NBA. We gotta use that to our advantage, and tonight is a great opportunity for that.
And then Jazz, just what do they present to you guys?
Definitely a challenge. Very well coached with Will Hardy. The versatility, the size that they have, definitely presents a challenge, and that team always play with confidence. So it's gonna be big for us.
What's the best part about playing with the big guy over there?
Versatility. It's not too many bigs to do the things that he could do on both ends and on the floor. So, it makes our job easier. It sucks not having them. See what happens when we don't have them. So having them back tonight, it's going to be big.
Thanks, Steve.
Couple things really quick. I don't just blame ears. It's any of these leagues that are taking all of the advertising money. And by the way, the different companies, the big ones, I'm not going to name them. One of them sponsors Grant's show, DraftKings, to be transparent, so I will say them. They are not going to sacrifice their businesses for the players either. So there is a ton of self-reporting going on. Same thing with the sports books. If there's a weird bet, they look into it. And so I guess to me, it's one of those things that, and I please take this the wrong way, or please don't take this the wrong way. If you are a responsible gambler, I have no problem with that. What I have a problem with is the irresponsible gamblers, the ones that don't bet what they can afford to lose, the ones that are harassing players, who are making death threats on social media to the point where players are having to put their families in hiding and get extra security details. I can tell you that event that happened, I believe it was last year, with the United Healthcare CEO, that made this all super real. If somebody like that can be walked up on, in the anonymous player poll last year, 48% of the players polled were against the sponsorships. So when you lay down with the dogs, sometimes you're going to catch fleas. And if you think this is an NBA problem only, it's not. That's why I said go listen to Michael Franzese. And go check out his 30-minute video that he posted yesterday on this. I mean, gambling right now, the way that it is presented, like I'm looking at my son who's 11 years old, just turned 11. And I think back to when I was 11 years old. What ads were all over the place for something that, yeah, you really shouldn't do that. It's addictive. They were targeted at kids, Camels, Joe Cool, billboards, cigarettes. Like, this to me is like the new cigarette thing. Like, at what point are they going to start kind of scaling down and banning the way that gambling is advertised? Because right now, you have Well, the Kings played in an arena where you can make in-game bets, by the way. There's literally a room sponsored by one of the books that you can go in and make bets. So Adam Silver now is saying, well, you know, we're not against gambling, but we're working with our gambling partners to try and make this take away the possibility of situations like this. You're never going to take this away. You're always going to have guys that are going to find a way to do it. I'm sorry. Now, I'm not saying they're throwing games. Again, we're talking about prop bets. We're not talking about the spread. We're not talking about the lines. We're talking about prop bets. But you have Adam Silver now. He was on the Pat McAfee show a day before this dropped, and it wasn't the first time he said it. He's saying, well, I think the states, we need more than just the states regulating. He's asking for the feds to come and maybe ban some bets. Not ban gambling, but certain bets. And what he's talking about is the player props. Now, if you want to do the player props on the Stars, I'm fine with it. I don't disagree with him about, like, for instance, here's a great example. What if you took Dylan Cardwell over under 4 minutes last game, or rebounds? Did anybody think Dylan Cardwell was going to be in the closing group of that game in Phoenix? I didn't. He's a two-way guy. Adam Silver wants to take the prop bets away on the end of the bench guys, the two-way guys. If you want to fix this problem in terms of the prop bets, there's a very simple fix. And it's not taking them away. It's taking the under away. You either bet over or you don't bet at all. It's the only way it works. But I also have a problem with Adam Silver coming in and trying to take the money and now say, well, hey, you know, DraftKings, you know, how about we not put those prop bets up? So now you're taking the money and you're telling them how to run their business to make your business better. You see how this is a problem? We've talked about college sports and NIL in the transfer portal, how it's completely out of control. And it's got to get reined in. We're going to look at this same era of the NBA with the gambling, and we're going to say 20 years from now, man, that was the Wild West. For like 4 or 5 years. That was nuts. Could you imagine that now? That's exactly what we are going to be doing. 100%. Flores wants to know player contracts. Yes, they do. There's different names for them. The most basic one is the morality or the moral clause. It gives the team or the league the right to terminate a contract or take other disciplinary action if a player engages in criminal or unseemly behavior unseemly behavior that could damage the team's reputation. So yes, there is usually in contracts. If you're just joining us, welcome. We're taking you up to the Grant Napier Show, 3 o'clock, Fox Sports Radio. Don't forget, tonight we are going to be rocking and rolling with a post-game show immediately following the Kings and the Jazz home opener. Anybody going out? I know Dorian's going to be there. Let me know if you're going to the game. Let me know where you're watching from, too. I always like to see where our check-ins are at. If you want to call the show, please do. All you got to do is scan the QR code or hit the links that are pinned to the top of the chat. I'll put the link again in the chat for you right there. We're talking the gambling stuff. We're also talking about the Kings. Domantas Sabonis is expected to be available tonight on the injury report. He is still officially a game time decision, but I am leaning towards Brendan Nunes, who's reporting he will be available. And shout out to Brendan and Sean Cunningham. They're the reason we have video and audio on the show today from Shoot Around. I did not make it down to the arena for that. Jerry Reynolds, also part of the post-game show later tonight. So make sure you join us right here on If You Don't Like That. Again, 3 o'clock, Grant Napier Show. Best way to listen is to download the Fox Sports app, the KSAC app, free in the Google Play and Apple stores. No geo boundary, which is awesome. You can listen from anywhere. So go check it out. If you can't listen live, no worries. We put the show up on Grant's podcast platform. That will be changing soon, though, so we'll keep you updated on that. So we've got plenty to talk about here on a Friday. I want to get back to some of your comments as well. I'll continue kind of scrolling through this for you. Again, the Jazz had a massive lead early in their game against the Clippers, and they looked really good. And tonight is going to be the complete opposite of what you saw in Phoenix from a sense of small ball, the 50-50 balls. Tonight's going to be a more physical game. It's going to be probably a little bit different of a lineup than Doug Christie played last game because of the size. Walker Kessler, Lauri Markkanen. And this is where you so desperately miss Keegan Murray, because he would be on Lowry. That's not even a question. So who's going to step up? What I do want to continue seeing, though, is I really thought one of the positive things coming from Phoenix was seeing Doug rotating through more than 10 guys, especially in the first half. I think that's a big positive, especially with guards, because that's the best way that you can keep just constant pressure. You can keep a same tempo. And if you notice in the second half, that rotation tightened up. He didn't do the same thing. And now the Kings certainly slacked off from a defensive standpoint. The Suns made shots. They were missing shots in the first half. Grant's right. Doug pointed that out yesterday. I think tonight is a game that Devin Carter touches the floor. I do. Because of his length and Utah's size. Smoking and beer. Okay. What about the one square TP Finder wipe cheapskate? What about the one that didn't use that stuff at all? Yeah, that was crazy. Dumpster diving. What was my rant? Kalshi ad? What's Kalshi? Addiction is addiction, gambling, alcohol, tobacco, porn, etc. That's what sells. So I see why it's always being advertised. Well, some of those things are not. One of those things is not necessarily directly advertised, but it's subliminally advertised in many commercials. If the Stockton Kings were playing, then the Kings would send their two-way players. But until then, and without starting power forward and center, I would expect Cardwell to be available and play. I guess that's what you're saying, Peter. Yeah, so I would expect that Cardwell would have been here either way, even if there was a full roster with Keegan out. Remember, you only get 55 games from your two ways in the NBA. so they can dress and or play in 55 games. With Domas back, I'm not sure how much Cardwell sees the floor. Here's where. What's your starting lineup tonight? I guess that's the first question. What's your starting lineup? We know it's going to be Dennis, Zach, DeMar, Domas. Who's the fourth guy you're throwing in there? Fifth guy, excuse me. If you want to go big, DJ. I'm not so sure as I think about it. I'm not completely convinced that Drew Eubanks couldn't run around with Lowry. I think he might be able to a little bit. Now, not long. But you're going to have to throw Lowry different looks. You're going to have to throw him so many different looks. I would expect, it's going to sound crazy, Keon will probably get a little bit of time on him. IJ will get some time on him. Does Saric get some time on him? I don't know. When it comes to Walker Kessler, that's where I'm thinking you're going to get Sabonis and Cardwell. But I could be wrong. Domas needs to grow a few inches to compete against the Jazz tonight. I wouldn't go that far. But here's one legitimate concern for me. Doug Christie, in practice yesterday or after practice, talked about how the ball stopped moving and how important it is for the ball to move, because it did stop in the third quarter. In fact, he thought it stopped at some points in the first half, which, going back and looking, at the film, it did. It just so happened that the guys were making their shots when they went into ISO. But that was the starting lineup without Domas. And if the Kings come out offensively and look like they did in the third quarter tonight, if they look like they did in most of the preseason and it's stagnant on offense, Doug's got to start mixing things up right away, in my opinion. Has to. Can't wait to see the post game, Rhino. Having the inside of the arena is your background. Thank you. Congrats to you and Grant again, man. Y'all both deserve an opportunity. Fox has given both of you guys. Thank you very much. Appreciate that, Charles. Thank you. Yes, we are very, very blessed to have this opportunity, and it's been really cool being able to officially, legitimately cover the Kings and be at practice and training camp and at games, etc. Are there any plans for Grant's Fox show to be on the YouTube channel? We are playing with that, Benny. Yes, we are playing with that. So stay tuned. So here's the thing. We just had a meeting last night. I don't want to go WWE Unreal on you and pull the curtain back too much, but we wanted to get the radio product up, out, running, smooth, get it polished, get everything on that end perfect before we dived in to the other aspects, which are streaming, etc. And we're not quite there with the radio yet. There's still some things that need tweaking. So we're probably about 2 months in. Started September 2nd. Yeah, we're coming up on 2 months. Grant and I are really weird in a sense. Grant is a perfectionist. He wants it professional. He wants every loose end tied up, and I respect that. So we're polishing this, but yes, that is on the table. That is something that was part of the discussion last night. Yeah, there is only audio on the stream currently. Yes, but you can catch it. Well, the thing was, coming off of my daily show, everybody's like, we're going to miss the chat. We want the chat. How are we going to chat? So that's how we were able to get the chat going. If Carter touches the floor tonight, whose minutes does he take? Good question. I think it would be more of, and I know you're going to call me crazy, but with his reach and his ability to rebound and his peskiness, I think it would be frontline minutes and not guard minutes. I think it would be 3 minutes, like at the 3. Again, I said this at the start of the show. If Russell Westbrook, and no disrespect to Russ, he is just getting himself into, he's in tremendous shape already. Don't get me wrong. But he didn't go through training camp. And what did the Kings say? We're going to be the best conditioned team in the league. 94 feet. Well, almost every team now is saying 94 feet, which is interesting. But Russ played 19 minutes. That, to me, was too many minutes. Having 2 practices under your belts. Now, that alone. Now, with Doug Christie seeing Russ short on pull-ups in the third quarter, at that point, to me, that's like a pitcher that can't hit the strike zone. That's like your fastball's gone. Your legs aren't there. That's where Doug should have inserted Keon, but he stayed with Russ. So I say it again tonight. If Keon does not get more minutes than Russ tonight, the Kings will lose. Oh, it's a betting app. Okay. Gotcha. We have to go big tonight? Yes, you do. Ryan, did you see DeMarcus Cousins' comments about Jason Thompson? No, I have completely quit paying attention to anything that DeMarcus Cousins is doing. It's just, it's all about shock and awe. It's trying to get attention. I don't even know what DeMarcus Cousins is right now, because there's some platforms that's having him on as an analyst, yet he's saying stuff that's not accurate, or he's saying things that should not be talked about on the air. Best example, after he did the whole thing about Phoenix and said that they were fist fighting in the locker room last year, and Lou Williams, who was on the same show, is like, DeMarcus, but that's kind of, like normal for some. And DeMarcus not even smart enough to pick up that Lou's trying to back him off the point and not make it look so rogue, that DeMarcus doubles down on it. And Lou's like, man, I'm trying to help you out here, literally on the air. So no, if you're DeMarcus Cousins, why are you talking about Jason Thompson? Who cares? What is there to talk about with Jason Thompson? I don't get it. Maybe that's just me. Like, does it not feel like DeMarcus is kind of Uncle Ricoing?
That's a great question.
Anyways, back to all you. Yeah, that's the pot calling the kettle black. That's for sure. That's crazy. Anyways, predictions for tonight. Domas, you should have back. Looking forward to that. Who's going to be in the starting lineup? Who's going to be in the starting lineup? Who's going to get that third spot? Who's going to be next to Domas? I think it's probably going to be IJ. I'm going to say IJ or Drew. IJ or Drew. Any other guesses? Or am I on an island? IJ or Drew, I think it's that spot. By the way, we are getting pretty close. We are less than an hour away from the 3 to 6 show, Grant Napier Show, here on Fox Sports Sacramento. Make sure that you download the app if you haven't already. You can listen anytime, anywhere when we are live on the air. No, again, geo boundaries. You could be wherever. Get a good internet connection or cell connection, you're good to go. You're right there. You can listen to the show. Also, post-game tonight, Jerry, Grant, and myself, I will be at the arena. Can't wait to wrap this one up with you tonight. Anybody going out to the game, have a great time. Hopefully they put on a good show. Wait, who's starting for Murray? Yeah, who's going to start at the 4? Or do you slide Domas? No, you're going to have Domas on Kessel. Well, yeah, you have to. Who's going to start and be on Lowry Marketing to begin the game? Who's it going to be? Is it going to be IJ? I think you got 3 choices. IJ, Drew, or Sharich. I kind of think it's going to be IJ. Because of the athleticism. Kings got to do better with their free throws tonight as well. Have to do better with their free throws. Guard the 3-point line. Again, I thought the defense in the first quarter was pretty good. I couldn't complain too much about it. Preston says IJ also would like to see Cardwell get to play more. His minutes were solid in Phoenix. Cardwell is just, probably one of the best heads on a young NBA player's shoulders that I've seen in a long time. He's got a really good base. He loves Zach. I got a great quote out of him early in the season. Loves Zach. Said that he will take a fine for Zach. He likes being the enforcer. The guy's actually really like playing with Cardwell. He's just raw. Offensively, he's raw, and he's working on it. Coach Jackson has been working with him diligently after practice on the offensive side. So that is all good and well. So, all right, we're going to get out. Make sure you join us for the Grant Napier Show here in just about under 50 minutes. We will be talking about Thursday Night Football, talk about the Kings. We'll get Grant's opinion on Domantas Sabonis, looking like he's going to be available tonight. Officially a game-time decision, but as Brendan Nunez has reported, he is available. Does not surprise me, and I trust Brendan. So take that for what you will. Also, we'll do our NFL picks. We'll give you your chance to win a $100 gift card to Bennett's. We'll announce the winner of last week's $100 gift card. Got it all. Lot going on a Friday. I believe we're also going to have the Utah Jazz, radio voice, either radio voice or color guy for the Jazz on today's show. So a lot going on, a lot of Kings, NBA gambling as well. And then the World Series. We haven't even talked about that. Who's everybody got? I think it's got to be the Dodgers. I mean, Ohtani had the best night I've ever seen from a baseball player. Best performance probably ever from a baseball player. Single game performance for sure. So I appreciate all of my Kings Court
It's
family.
a great night to be a Tiger. I'm here with my family.
And thanks for kind of bearing with the schedule. I try to get this show in when I can. Here's the deal. I want to make this kind of known. It's going to be one of two times going forward during the week because of the Kings practice times. It's either going to be 1 o'clock from here at Fox, or it's going to be 10 a.m. from my home studio. Those are the two times. So we'll keep you updated on that. But hey, join us here in, again, less than an hour. We're just about 45 minutes away from the Grant Napier Show, Fox Sports Radio. If you aren't around a radio, download the app. That's all you got to do. You'll be good to go. It is free. Make sure you follow us on all the platforms. Follow Fox as well. Give us a call. We'll be taking your calls, 916-779-0929. You can also text the show as well. Appreciate all of you. Don't forget, can't wait to see you on the post-game show tonight, streaming live to YouTube and X. Yes, YouTube and X. We had a huge turnout the other night. So make sure you come join that. It really is. It's the place to come after a Kings game. You want legit breakdown? You want Grant and Jerry? That's where you got them. Live right after the game. So join us for that. We'll see you here in about 45 minutes on Fox Sports Radio. Have a great weekend. Kings, Jazz tonight. Domas appears to be available for the Kings. Can they get a win on their home court? Doug Christie's message to them when they broke shoot around today was defending home court. I heard a similar message before the Clippers game, and they lost. So hopefully tonight's a little bit different. This one counts for real. We'll see you in about 45 minutes on Fox Sports Radio.